So, as you can see, we got this pretty much all stripped down. Lots of body filler everywhere. And lots of stuff I still have to patch up. So we knew this corner was going to be a bear, so I still have to form this out, make it a little rounder. But it's getting there. Went threw in a bunch of patch panels, as you can see. Covered them up with small metal. One more coat. Over here, this was all just gone. You can see I put a patch panel on the back of it. Came out pretty good. This I don't have to be perfect on this because this is getting all Raptor liner anyway. And then we're gonna keep going through and just fixing stuff. Here, this is kind of a mess, but this is where it has to be cut in order for it to fit. I don't know why. It just is what it is. This is all gonna get covered, but I'm gonna clean all this up anyway. I used a power wash sandblaster and it did pretty well, at least on the metal. I wouldn't do much with the Raptor liner, but I haven't touched this with sandpaper or nothing. And it's getting there. So we're gonna go through, weld up some little holes and stuff. We got a couple other little holes here and there that these are just filled with Bondo, so I'm gonna knock these down, fill these up with some weld, and go from there. Quick update. We got the rear passenger bedside into prime. Been working on it a couple days. Got a couple of bugs in the primer, but they sand right out. And for the most part, for what was essentially garbage, I'm pretty happy with it. This entire corner had to be rebuilt. Came out pretty good. You can see inside where the plate is. This is all going to get Raptor lined inside here, so we're not too worried about that. Can't flip it over because it's still tacky, so we'll prime the inside tomorrow, maybe even Raptor line it within the next day or two. So in the meantime, for something to do, we are going to be working with my second favorite stripper. I'm not going to say who or where my first one is, but as you can see, this panel is brand new, covered in Raptor liner. So we're going to spend a couple minutes, get this all cleared out, and see where we end up. Little gas tank hole, probably going to end up filling that. Should have some spare metal, same gauge around. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Alright, here we are next day. Back on patching in the old gas tank hole. So basically what I did was this big magnet that I keep on my vise. Threw that under there. Seems to fit really well. Got myself a nice little piece of metal. Fits right in. Gonna hold this down and hopefully it turns out flush on the other side. We'll throw like 4 tacks in, then we'll look at it. Alright, she's tacked in. Take a look at her. Here we are on the front side. All ground down, mostly filled in, nice and smooth. Gonna hit it with some all metal. Do a little sanding, won't even know it's there. So gas tank's all done. Can't see that it was there. Now we are working on these inserts. And problem with buying used shit, yeah, it's cheap, but you never know what someone's gonna do. And in this case, they kind of hacked this all up. See how it was flat, and then it just disappears. So when I get these on, and I've already adjusted front fender, adjusted the back fender, this is about as good as it's gonna get right here, which is, not bad. So as you can see, this gap, it gets a little bit bigger. Goes to about a pinky. So rather than keep fucking around adjusting everything that I know is not going to happen, I'm just going to add on to this with fiberglass. So I got to add on like a 1/2 inch here, and over here, a good 1/2 inch. We'll say a 1/4 over there, then a 1/2 over here. So we're going to mark this with tape so we know exactly how much to add on and go from there. So if we fiberglass up to the edge of the tape, we should have a pretty straight body line. Here it's going to be pushed in, but so let's get the glassing. Okay, so you can see we got our tape laid out. We know exactly where we got to go to. So how I'm going to do this, which may or may not be correct, is I put tape on each side, as you can see, and I have myself a little channel. So I'm just going to fill this up with resin. I know fiberglass is what gives it the strength, so when I'm all done and I have the form, then I'm going to go back and fiberglass the back side of it. But in the meantime, if I fill this up and it overflows, ideally to the inside, well then I should be in pretty good shape. So let's make some resin and see where we end up. Alright, I did want to show you guys. I did go back and pack it with some cloth. Now I'm going to mix up the resin and pour it on in. See how this goes. Alright, battery died, but I'd say we're pretty flush with where we need to be. All we can do now is hang out, wait for it to dry. And then we're going to use some more cloth, especially on the back side. We'll see how well it dries. And then we'll do the other side. Okay, so here is, I don't want to say the finished product because I haven't even sanded any of this yet. But you can see, you know, where I added on, started somewhere in the middle. Got a good like ½ inch or so in there. So now when this sits down, it'll sit down and be pretty flush all throughout. You know, here I got to go in with the fender obviously and do some adjustment on this lower rocker. You know, the back looks pretty good. All the way up and down. Gonna shave a little off of there because the gap's a little bigger up top. But this whole piece has got to come down. And the other side, I'm really not going to have to do much as far as fiberglass goes. As you can see here, I mean, it's sticking out, but when it folds in, it's nice and straight. We follow the body line all the way through. And then over here, same thing. Pretty straight all the way down. The yellow kind of throws it off. And yeah, I did end up going through and replacing these B-pillars. As you can see. These are all new because they just look like junk with all the holes. So I think that's pretty much going to wrap it up for today's video. I have quite a few more videos I have to edit. So if you're enjoying this, like, subscribe, share, and tell your friends. Thanks, guys.